Hey, we are with Sierra Barrow, the founder and executive director of the Barrow Center, and she's on the spot. Let's see. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Would you rather be able to take back anything you say or hear any conversation that's about you?
Oh, absolutely take back things I'd say, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the younger me.
Reckless?
Yeah, I think it's just the fact if you knew then what you know now. It's just one of those parts of maturing and learning.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, that would definitely be it.
Yeah, agreed. I don't want to hear.
No.
No thanks.
It's kind of funny, too, because I look back at social media, you have your memories, and it just is one little things of things we used to post back then. I'm like, what was I thinking? That's just one little thing. But no, words hurt. And there's been times in my life that I could definitely take back.
So, Sierra has evolved
Mm-hmm.
over time
Mm-hmm.
and grown up into this awesome human being who is committed to changing the lives of young people and families. Tell us about what you're doing now to impact the world.
I think a big part of what I'm doing now is really bringing awareness to the lack of resources that our most vulnerable population has, which are our special needs, particularly pediatrics. That's where my passion is at. I want to bring awareness, to the community of the lack of resources, the struggles and challenges that special need families face. I would love to be able to bring awareness to businesses, how they can be more accommodating.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much I feel like we can accomplish with this work. And I know it definitely won't end just in childcare. So,
Right, yeah. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that special need families are facing right now.
majority of it is obviously childcare,
Mm-hmm.
and then the ability to work. A lot of families aren't able to work because of the lack of resources for so long for childcare. So, as we know, that contributes to lower income and poverty levels. It's just so many denials they have to face every day, whether it be with Medicaid, equipment they need, therapies they need. There's so many guidelines and restrictions around insurance, and I don't know that will ever change, but I think just being able to offer a safe space where inclusion and diversity is welcomed, and they're loved and happy is definitely a right step in the direction. So,
Yeah. How did you get into this?
well, I contribute a lot of it to my sister-in-law and her daughter, Lexi. She's 22 now. She never had childcare growing up. She's always made ways. I mean, when I tell you this lady has moved mountains for her child, so really watching her and the challenges she faced, she never, she just faced it so gracefully all the time. And then in 2016, I took on a brand new role for nursing that I've always done bedside nursing. So I went into care management and I worked with pediatrics. A lot of them were palliative care. So it was a lot of terminally ill children, or children with just life-threatening illnesses in general. And their parents were never able to work. And it was even getting help in the home for respite care aides or CNAs or nursing was always a challenge. And people are intimidated by pediatrics,
Sure.
especially, pediatric with special needs is even more scary. So that really opened my eyes. And then coming back home and knowing that nowhere around here, and it's no fault necessarily of the centers. I don't want anybody to ever think that. It's a new territory.
Right.
And there just aren't any places to accommodate the needs that they have, because a lot of them, there are a lot of needs, whether it be behavioral, feeding tubes, so many things. So as a nurse, I was able to mark off or check off a lot of those things that I can do for those kids and offer in our center. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you stay inspired in all of this? Because it feels like it could get heavy at times as you're forming relationships with families who are struggling to care for loved ones, for, tender and vulnerable young people that they really care for and are facing so many barriers. How do you stay pumped up?
Oh my gosh. The children we serve not only inspire me, but their families. Their gratitude is changed me and my outlook on life even more than I could have ever imagined opening up this center. And then the community for sure. So many people have reached out wanting to help, people I've never met, because I think children tug at a lot of people's heart anyway. Then you add special needs to it, and people go above and beyond. So that keeps me inspired for sure. But the kids, they're just happy. They are some of the happiest kids I've ever met, and they're loving. They're so nurtured. My staff inspires me daily because they're amazing. But yeah, I mean, we have really great staff, really great kiddos and families. So they keep us going for sure.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you have taken this personal experience and combined it with your professional training and created a space where young people can be cared for and their families can get some relief.
Yep.
So, you talked a bit about the inspiration for the space, but walk us through the process of actually, you had this inspiration. I'm going to open the Barrow Center. What was next after that? What were some of the tangible things you had to do to get this off the ground?
So we are licensed by Virginia Department of Education, and you have to follow, there's a big book of child care regulations. So putting together policies, procedures, making sure your rooms are set up safely. And then, of course, inspections, whether it be health department, fire department, making sure you're meeting all of those regulations. And it was a lot of work, a whole lot of work, because it was nothing that I've ever experienced before, and it was so brand new to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the business side of it, like how to run a business, never done it. Super intimidating. There were times I was like overwhelmed. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But at the end of the day, when you have a desire and a dream, I just told myself, you're going to do it. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, how the struggle is, like you're going to see this through. And I had a lot of people in my corner who motivated me, who put up with me in my overwhelmed moments. So, yeah, I mean, I think that was the biggest. It's just learning something that I've never done. And it was a challenge that I can now definitely say I'm proud of, for sure. So,
Yeah, so good.
thank you.
I know getting something off the ground is a whole struggle.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have been doing this separately but together
Yeah.
at the same time, going through the Gauntlet
Yes.
program
Great
and
program.
being a part of that process together, just figuring it out
Mm-hmm.
is very scary
Very
when you open a business and it's a public business where you're putting your name and your face out there, and there are a lot of risks to that.
Absolutely.
And so I applaud everyone who takes that leap.
Yep, absolutely same. I think the Gauntlet did a lot for me as far as getting our name out there and publicity. I met a lot of great people, including you, and 5 years ago, I would have never done this. I'd have never been comfortable speaking in front of people. It's molded me for sure. It's made me more comfortable, because when you're passionate about something, it just kind of rolls off your tongue. It's natural. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And every time we've spoken about your passion for this work, it has been flawless, seamless. I just know it in my spirit that you are on purpose.
Yeah, thank you.
And that feels good, to bump into people who just know like they know that this is what they're doing, and by any means necessary, it's happening.
Yep.
How do you want to expand moving forward? What are some of the things on your to-do list as you've gotten it off the ground now? What are the next steps?
Our next step would be becoming a licensed Medicaid provider, which means we would offer basic nursing services. And I hoped that it looks like starting off, it would be offered in the center for young adults, not just stopping at 18 years old. And then eventually in the home as a respite care provider too. So that will take a while, because we have to be licensed through the Virginia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services. And that's a very lengthy process. It's very intimidating for me to even think about, because there's a lot I have to build from that too, and training and a lot of things that's going to require to keep my attention. And I have very short attention span. It's hard for me to focus. So I'm like, okay, I've done this, I can do that. So, but yeah, that's our next big goal.
Okay. Yeah, we will be cheering for you.
Thank you.
As you do that. And I just know with your will to get things done, it will happen.
Thank you.
Just one document at a time.
That's right.
Everything is just taking the steps.
Yep.
How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a
That's
time.
right. That's right. I've always said I got to crawl before I walk. I
Mm-hmm.
remind myself of that daily.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You mentioned community support and how important that's been for your process. Who are some of the people who surprised you as you've gotten the Barrow Center going that you're like, oh, well, thank you?
gosh, churches have reached
Mm-hmm.
out, the YMCA, the Elks Lodge, and then there's just people that's like, hey, I follow you on Facebook. What do y'all need? What can I bring you? And I mean, it's been so many people, I couldn't even name them.
Mm-hmm.
That's, whether it's monetary donations, supplies, toys, it's just been I don't want to say overwhelmingly, but a nice overwhelmingly amount of outpouring and support.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a big surprise to me. I never expected. I knew we would impact families that needed our sources. I guess I didn't realize the impact it would make on overall an impact just in the community. So
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that was a big surprise, honestly. So I mean, it's been I can't speak enough on how great our community's been.
I
So
love it.
yeah.
If someone wants to support now, tell us like the top three things that the Barrow Center needs right now and how they would be able to get those things to you. How do they reach out or donate or whatever that
Yeah,
looks like?
absolutely. So we have Instagram, Facebook. We have a website, which is thebarrowcenter.org. You are able to donate monetarily on our website directly through that if someone's heart led to, do that. Those things always goes towards expenses, pretty much anything we need. As far as, dropping off donations, they can message us on Facebook directly, email us.
Mm-hmm.
All of that's on our website. We are always in need of supplies for the children, extra diapers and wipes for backup,
Mm.
snacks, individually wrapped snacks. So, yeah, calling, emailing, social media, all those good things. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I hope that people will see this and want to connect and share whatever they have if they feel inspired to do so.
Absolutely. Greatly appreciated.
When you're not doing stuff with the Barrow Center, what are your hobbies? What are you into?
So, I've always enjoyed, and I don't get to garden as much as I used to, but gardening was a thing. Horseback
Mm.
riding, I've not gotten to do that in a while just because I'll say this. I don't pay myself at the center yet, so I still work home health. I still work as a nurse just because that's how I have to make my living. So I don't have a lot of time for extra hobbies at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of time is time with my kids and my family and my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But if I ever had time, probably would definitely go back to gardening and horseback riding and maybe some cooking. And I love to be by water, whether it be pool, lake, or ocean. So
Me too.
yeah.
Yeah, I am hoping for you as we start to think about it's crazy to see how the year is flying, but as we start to think about next year,
Mm-hmm.
I want for you to have time to pour into yourself. I know that's been really important for me as we've been growing the studio is, there was a time period where I was so focused on what we need to get done here that I didn't self care in
Yeah.
the way that I knew I should. And having those moments where I can just take care of me, do something that I love, has allowed for me to come back into the space with new ideas, to be more supportive to the team, to feel like I have more energy to do the work. So I want that for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I know mental health is important. I preach that to my staff. Take your time off. Leave early. But I never do it for myself.
Right.
And
Isn't
I
that?
should. I
Yeah.
should. I think I just want them to look forward to coming into work every day and, morale and we have that. But I'm guilty. I'm very guilty of not having time for myself. So that was a good piece of advice.
Yeah, I'm going to check in on you about this because I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time like take some time, like clear your mind, step away as I'm,
Yep.
you
One
know,
more. Just let me do this. Just let me
hovering
do
over
this.
the
Yep. Yep.
computer. What's something that most people wouldn't know about you?
I sing,
What?
but not on TV.
Oh, I was about to ask you to.
I don't. I've done karaoke a time or two, and I used to sing in church.
Okay, so
Music.
you sing or you sang? Was that singing is
I
like,
so
you know.
I sang.
Oh, that's okay.
Music has always been my thing. When I go to church, I go to church. I grew up in the
Okay.
holiness and the Pentecostal, and so when we went to church, we went to church. So music for me was always my therapy and it was just soul filling for me.
Yeah.
I have a very diverse family that I'm very thankful for. That's just been, yeah. I don't do it as much as I should, but
Yeah, that's something that takes no time for
yeah,
you to jump into,
yeah,
that I feel like can be very cleansing.
yeah.
If we were to go to karaoke, what would be your song? What are you selecting right off gate?
Oh gosh, I probably would pick Lady A, American Honey, or I like to do Rihanna.
Oh,
I've been known to do some Rihanna every
come
now
on.
and then.
What tell me what you'd like to do.
Take a bow. I've done that one.
Mhm.
Gosh, I'm trying to think. It's really just a random selection. So, the last time I was in Nashville 2 years ago, I did. It wasn't a great one because I had a lot of Coca-Cola to drink. But anyway, I think I sang. Oh gosh, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. What's the name of the song? I can't even think now.
Oh, from
The movie.
yeah.
That's a great song to sing, and I can't think of it right now. But that one. But yeah, that was the last time I've done my karaoke.
You know my go-to karaoke. This is like a completely odd song, but I like it because it's a lower key kind of song. The high notes,
Yeah, I'm more. Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
soprano. Yeah,
I gotta go. I gotta
yeah,
go low.
yeah,
Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics.
yeah.
That's my go-to karaoke.
That would be a great song to
Yeah, and
karaoke.
I feel like I can do a lot more with that because it's
Yeah,
not a lot of lyrics. It's not a fast-paced song, so I can do some
yes,
performance
and
with
that's the
it.
thing about karaoke. You have to pick the songs that you're going to be able to sing,
Mhm.
and not just slaughter. So I have to be very mindful of that because there's been times you're listening to karaoke and you're other people singing. And you're probably not a good choice, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person.
Let me tell you what I avoid with karaoke. Prince.
Yeah.
I love, love, love Prince. Prince super fan. And I sing Prince in the shower, in the car. Karaoke, mm-mm.
Uh-huh.
I've tried it a few times and comes out, it's not good.
Which song?
Kiss is my
Oh,
favorite to
Kiss.
do.
Okay. Now I
Yeah.
thought you was going to say maybe some Purple Rain.
Purple
Maybe.
Rain makes me sad.
Oh, okay.
Because I
Well, that's
always think
understandable.
about the movie. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I'm looking forward to karaokeing with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
That's a good.
We'll make it a date.
Okay, all right. Yeah, step away and let's karaoke. So, you have kids of your own.
I do.
And tell us about them.
My oldest is 10, hard to believe. My middle will be 9 in September. And then my youngest my baby is 4. So 2 girls and my youngest is a boy. Man, they're wide open. The girls fight like they're in the MMA sometimes. My youngest one is definitely a mama's boy. They're athletic. They're busybodies. And that's a big, but they're they're my motivation. There's things that's changed in my life over the past 2 years personally, and they have been my strength for sure. They're great kids. Yeah, they are, and they love coming to the center. Like, I don't want to go to daycare and come to your work. So they,
That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, I'm very proud. Like, we talk a lot about bullying, a lot about inclusion, and the importance of that. And I hope that they can grow up. We're always remembering to be kind. So.
That is an important lesson for young people, and to have these experiences where they're forming relationships with others who have a different life experience than they have.
Yes. Yep. And luckily, my niece, their cousin Lexi, so they've been exposed to her, and then the children at the center. We have a couple that are nonverbal but are able to communicate in their own way, and they play with them, and they love to go see them. So, yeah, they're a handful, but they're good kiddos. So,
what are your tips for raising children who have that sensitivity if you're not in a position like you? So you already have an environment where they have a cousin who they've grown up knowing and loving, and then you have this space. But how do you do that as a parent where children may not have that same level of exposure?
I think exhausting your resources, as far as a big thing with families. People with typical children don't get to go home to what it's really like with whether it be a special needs child of any severity. So I'm so big on parents have parent guilt or mom guilt, dad guilt, whatever, for taking time away. I'm so big on, you need caregiver relief. So, whether it be family having their support system, and again, like you said, not everybody has that. So I think, providing this resource and trying to exhaust the resources that you do have, so that child has every potential to thrive and the family can thrive. I'll say for my own kids, sometimes I have higher expectations because they are my own children than I do of other children. Obviously, that's probably a typical thing a parent would do. So going back to self-care, and I think I could have done a lot of things different as a parent myself. Listening when kids have big emotions, always listen first. Let them say what they need to say. I think that's a huge important part of growing up. I didn't always get that, and when I was a kid, it was always my way or the highway. So I was like, kids have emotions. They're little people. They deserve respect. They deserve to be listened to. So those are big parts of it. And I don't, other than what I can offer in the center for kids that may not have that, it's just love, nurturing, listening, meeting people where they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Well,
for
thank you for
coming
having
and being
me.
on the spot. Shared so many amazing nuggets about life, about working with special needs children, about our need for balance.
Yes. Yeah.
And we appreciate you and all that you do. Definitely, if you feel inspired, support the mission for Sierra's amazing Barrow Center.
Thank y'all. Thank you for having me.
On the spot.